You know what? I don't know what it's like to be a black man. I don't. I'm married to a Puerto Rican woman. I have friends that are black. I'm not racist whatsoever. I'm also not colorblind. I see that there are different colors. I just see everybody as created equal in God. And I know that there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. And I didn't even know how bad it was for black people until I just actually watched a documentary called 13th. And it's about the 13th Amendment. And once they stopped slavery, they had to create something in order to be able to rebuild the economy and ultimately keep people enslaved. So they put in there, hey, if you're a criminal, then we're going to go ahead and put you to work. So they started arresting black people for ridiculous things like looting on littering or spitting on the floor. It's just basically turned them into slaves again. And so fast forward, I also didn't know that when Nixon declared a war on drugs, between Nixon and Reagan, that area, that was when crack first came out. And so it was much cheaper to get crack than it was cocaine. So cocaine was like, if you're somebody, you do cocaine. They didn't even frown on it because what they did was they had this hidden agenda. And so they made the penalty for crack cocaine way, way, way worse than the penalty for powdered cocaine. And so if you snorted cocaine, slap on the wrist. If you smoke crack, well, you're going to jail basically forever. And so that I didn't even realize until I thought about it, that literally was like a racist move. And they're literally going, hey, we got an idea how we can continue to enslave or put black people away. And we'll just make it so that the drug that these particular people can afford, I'm not saying all black people were poor, but they were targeting poor black neighborhoods because that's where a lot of crack was. And yes, these guys made a decision. They decided to smoke crack. But the white guy decided to snort cocaine. The guy that had the money decided to snort cocaine. He got a lesser punishment than the guy that decided to smoke crack. Same thing. And so what happened was they started pulling these fathers essentially out of the society, and we got more kids in these neighborhoods growing up without dads. And I can't even imagine my son growing up without me. I think I'm a good dad. I could do better, but I don't even know. Wouldn't want my wife to go through that. And I can't even imagine my son ending up the way that I want him to end up if I wasn't even here to try to shape that. And his role model was somebody he saw on TV or some kid down the street. So I get it. I see why that led to certain things. But then they go on to describe and explain how they continue to create this narrative. And it was about a narrative. They create this narrative about how the black man is a criminal. They steal, rape, and pillage white women, when in reality, back in the day, it was actually the white guys that were raping the black women. So fast forward, look, I get it. I understand why black people are frustrated because this has been a long time. Now, as a white person, I could say, well, yeah, but my white children don't get special scholarships. We don't have a white appreciation. I mean, there's all kinds of things a white person could say, like it's not really slavery anymore. And I see both sides of the argument, but I'm seeing more now the fact that there's still this effort to oppress black people. And the thing I want to talk about today is not the oppression so much, but it's the false narrative, the narrative they're pushing. And they're actually, if you're watching this and you're black, they're actually using you. They're leveraging you, and they're lying to you. So you guys think George Floyd died. I honestly don't think the guy's dead. First of all, I think it was actors. I think it was a staged thing because coronavirus was calming down. We needed something else. Now, it honestly, it goes back to Democrat Bill Clinton that instituted and signed a bill to make the prison rates basically go skyrocket high. And so there's been a continued effort to keep black people in jail. I get that. Well, why are you thinking that George Floyd's death is I don't get it. I just don't get it. And just so you know, all these people that are rioting, they're paid. And most of them aren't black people, and most of them are not people that are concerned about black people's rights. This is an operation, and this is a narrative, and this is an approach. This is an agenda being played out. They're playing black people right now. They're making you look horrible, and they're doing that to keep you oppressed in the long run because they're trying to get Donald Trump out of office. And unfortunately, you may not see this, but it seems to me like he's the only one that actually wants equality for everybody. And instead they want to put a Democrat in there, which is going to continue to oppress you. You may not see that yet, but go watch the documentary, The 13th, and then start to look at what they're doing and how they're playing off of black lives. Look, do you know how many black people have been killed? I'm not even talking black on black death. I'm talking about black people that have died recently in riots, but because it wasn't part of the agenda, they don't even get talked about. There's been some really, really good, quality men and women who are of color who have lost their life in vain for no reason. If anything, they were probably trying to help prevent a business from getting burnt down and help people, and they died. No one's saying anything about it. Don't you see that as a problem? Look, I know that there's been oppression. I know that there's racism. And I don't want to be any part of anything other than equality and everybody loving each other, because that's the way God asked me to do it, and I'm a Christian man. And no matter what color I am, right? But black people, please open your eyes and realize that they're playing you. We need to stop this whole thing and come together and stop creating division over something that might not have even happened the way you think it happened.